Guys, how's it going? Welcome back. So we've got a Behringer UC200 Ultra Chorus. So I got this off of Amazon. Link will be in the description below if you happen to be interested in this pedal after we go through this. Apparently this is a copy of a Boss CH1. Anyways, so I wanted a chorus pedal, and of course I'm a cheapskate. I don't want to buy a Boss, and you know, besides for how often I'm going to be using this thing, it should be more than durable enough for me. So anyways, no, I'm not really a cheapskate. I love Boss pedals. But this time I wanted to try something different because I also want to do some videos for you guys this year on some different types and brands of pedals. I've done a lot of pedals on my channel before, and I wanted to take a look at the Behringer line. So there's a few others that I'm going to be ending up purchasing down the road. And so we'll see what they're actually like, how good they really are. And of course I'm going to go after some other off-branded pedals like the Donners and stuff, and you know, type of thing, and we'll see what happens anyways. But I got this one in today in the mail, and it is a stereo chorus, so you do have outs for A and B, and of course your one main input. Now this thing does run off of a 9-volt battery or power supply. I'm kind of out of 9 volts right now, so I'm running it off a power supply. But I will tell you how to get access to the 9-volt compartment. That is something that the instructions don't actually tell you. And believe it or not, I actually had to look up a YouTube video myself. Anyways, let's get on with this and then we'll finish talking. So this is my clean channel on my Katana 100 watt 1x12 with just a bit of reverb. Okay, so let's turn the pedal on. I got everything at 12 o'clock to start with. There's a noticeable difference. Alright, so let's bring that level up a bit more though. Sorry, my bad. So not a lot of tonal range there for adding, you know, a little bit of extra high into it, but there's a little subtle difference. The D chord is never present a lot. Full maxed rate. the guitar down and we'll have a little talk about this thing. Sorry for getting in front of the camera there, guys. Alright. Well, it wasn't very expensive. It was very cheap, in fact, which is great. Because the body is made out of all plastic. Okay? That is one thing. So let me just zoom out a bit here because I want to actually show you guys how you get into this little puppy. I just got to make sure. Yeah, I got something here for that. Anyhow, first off, I watched a few videos on this thing while I was waiting for it to show up in the mail. And I didn't do a whole lot of investigating on it before I ordered it. Only because I'm kind of like, well, it's a chorus pedal, it's something new for the channel, and it's cheap, you know. And I thought, well, how bad can it really be? So while I was waiting for it anyways, I watched a few videos on it, and didn't get any information actually about it, even in the battery compartment thing, and how to get into it. So I thought, alright, well, whatever. Everybody's demoing these things, right? And so I thought, well, you know, it's pretty good. But a few channels had said that, you know, they would consider this actually giggable. And I disagree. And I'm going to show you why in a minute. But certainly if you are not hard on the pedal, okay, if you're using it in your studio like me, or, you know, your actual bedroom, okay, this is like a bedroom anyways that I'm in, but it's my recording studio for in here. But anyhow, I would probably bring this to church and use it at church here and there as a singular pedal for just accenting the acoustic guitar, but otherwise I'd use it in here. Okay, but as far as gigging goes, it's not going to withstand that kind of torture. Okay, it really isn't. Considering it's made out of plastic, I mean, you're stomping on pedals. Boss makes things out of like tanks for a reason. They're made for touring musicians, gigging musicians, anybody in any class that's going to use it for anything, and the things just don't die too easily. However, Behringer, on the other hand, they've made a lot of copies, basically, of Boss pedals. Some of them better than others, obviously, for copying, and some of them just kind of suck. But I wanted just a chorus pedal, like I said, and I didn't want to spend a lot of money, even on a Boss, because I've had a few Boss ones in the past, and although they were fine, I did decide to give up on pedals because I have a Katana amp. What do I need pedals for? But then I got to thinking, well, at church, I'm not bringing my Katana amp. I plug into the PA. And so I decided finally I need a chorus. So let me show you how to get at the battery compartment, and then I'll tell you the rest of my opinion on it. But I also want to show you the battery compartment. So there's a little push-in thing here on each side. And you got to push in each clip, like so. And then just rock it off of there, and voila! There's how you get into the battery compartment. Kind of lame in a sense, but you know, not a lot of guys are using batteries anymore. So I can kind of understand the idea behind it, but you know, I would have still preferred a pedal that had a thumb screw. The problem is the plastic is so thin around here that you couldn't even get a screw in and out of there very many times, and it's just going to wear the hole out. You know, so it's not going to be very strong to support a screw going in and out all the time. So for that reason, I kind of get the idea, right? But that's how you get into it. Now, to get things back together, on the other hand, you have to line your spring up. There's a little baton thing sitting down here. I don't know how well I can show you here. Hang on a second. I'll point it out with the Allen key. This thing here where the Allen key is, that's where your spring has to sit in, and this is for your button actually to activate your on and off switch. And then of course you got your 9-volt connector. So what you want to do is you want to kind of line everything up, push down, push one button in with your finger a little bit so you can get that side down. Okay, once you get the one side down, you should be fine. Then you push this side in and push down at the same time, and if you did everything right, it should just rock into place and pop back in. And that's how you get in and out of this thing. That's kind of interesting. So, make sure we got everything done right. Let's just plug in a connector again. Yep. On and off. Okay, so let's talk about what I think. Again, I definitely stress not giggable. Even the little dog ears that they have for the buttons, although they're actually pretty thick, I don't agree with this thing being something that is giggable, other than maybe to take back and forth to church if you play on a worship team. Otherwise, stay in your bedroom with it, or your home recording studio, and just don't beat the snot out of it really hard, because it is plastic. I actually had removed the back plate because I thought, well, maybe this is one of those pedals. This was before I saw the video. I thought this would be one of those jobbies, because I've seen it before. You take off the screws, put your battery in there, screw it all back together, right? No, that's just a big chunk of steel, thick steel, that gives you the weight of the pedal. Makes it feel heavy, right? That's all it is. So that's where I looked up for a video on how to install a battery in a Behringer pedal. And I came across one video that the guy actually showed how to do this. Because the instructions, like I said, you get like 6 or 7 copies of different languages of instructions. Not one of them tells you anything about how to get access to the battery cover. Not a diagram, zip. And I'm like, okay, maybe it doesn't use a battery, right? So this is why I went back to Amazon. And sure enough, it says 9-volt battery required or power supply. So now, here's the thing. You're going to run any pedal, I don't care who makes it. If you're going to run with a battery, you only use Duracell or Energizers. Otherwise, cheaper batteries, you're not getting a lot of run time. Okay, I've been there and done that many times. You don't want your battery barfing in the middle of a gig either, which is another reason why, if you're going to hook this into a pedal board and you are going to decide to try gigging with this thing, make sure it's a powered pedal board, because again, you're going to have a hard time finagling with this. You're going to rip it off your pedal board just to pop the pins, change your battery. Really not a cool idea, especially if you're in the middle of the song and it kind of goes out on you. That would really suck. So yeah, most guys are actually using rechargeable pedal board power supplies for their boards now, or that will definitely last 20 hours, or they're using hydro system, right? But you can pick up a power supply for any Boss power supply, any of the Outlaw power supplies. The polarity is correct, the voltage is correct, so plugs right in. I'm actually using an Outlaw pedal power supply. Just plug and go, no big deal. And that power supply will actually run upwards to 15 pedals, so not a big deal. And that was only like about 25 or 30 bucks for that power supply. Keep in mind I'm in Canada, okay? So, finicky to get in, but kind of a good system, kind of understandable considering how much they cheaped out on the rest of the pedal. So that's why I went on with screw. Now, as far as the controls go, they are nice and stiff. I like that. Like, you set it and basically forget it, like they're not going to move too easily on you. The level is not for output as far as adding more volume. Okay, I mean, some people have thought of it that way and they were wrong, The level is how much of that effect you want to really push out more, okay? Not how much volume you're going to get out of the pedal, because that's not how it works. Tone control, it is noticeable, especially when you're in a little bit higher settings up here. You'll notice the tone control between the high and the low is definitely a lot more audible to you, so you're going to have to really set this thing up basically in a quiet area so you can get just that right, correct tone and sound that you want. And away you go. My advice is, because these don't lock in place or anything like the majority of pedals never do, always take a picture of your pedal settings with your favorite setting so that you can always refer to it in case you bump the thing. You know, because if you bump your rate from, you know, let's say 1 o'clock and you wanted it at, you know, 1:30 kind of thing, right? That's a big difference in the chorus pedal on the rate. So you want to make sure that, you know, you always remember where your settings are. But I do appreciate the pedal. I think it's really good sounding. It's a stereo chorus, which is actually really good too. So you can run out a stereo line right into a PA, or you can run stereo out to 2 different amps if you wanted to do that sort of thing. I could care less. I mean, I just need it to go through 1 amp, so I just use output A, or you can use B. Now, as far as the plug-ins go, I would have expected to see some sort of a nut and screw system. So I don't know what the durability is going to be like on it, but it looks like it may have a lock mechanism system that goes into an outer ring, so I think we're going to be okay there. I'd actually have to completely disassemble the pedal to find out, but from what I'm seeing here on the tracer line, that's exactly what it is and how it's going to lock in place. And then of course the top will be rounded on the inside, so it's going to lock them, so you should be pretty good there. So as long as you're not like overly super rough with the thing, I think it would last you like for a long time. But I just wouldn't recommend, if you're a gigging musician, I would not recommend any of the Behringer pedals that are made out of plastic for that purpose. But definitely go to church with it. It's like once a week, right? Twice a week if you're practicing at church, you know, and at home. Sure, why not? Or just light duty use that way. Just don't beat the snot out of it. So I think it's definitely worth the money. That I will say. It was worth every single penny that they asked for it. We will see about their other lines of pedals that they have. See what they're like. But I like the sound of it. And, you know, they're quite correct. This is definitely a good direct copy of a CH1. I've had a few of the Boss pedals. My favorite was actually the Ensemble pedal. It was pretty cool. But again, I have a Katana amp, but now I'm getting back into pedals because of other things. And of course, like I said, I want to do some videos for you guys on some more pedals. And hey, for cheap pedals, why not, you know, and share my thoughts on it. But that's pretty much about where I'm at. So considering the price, the way it's built, the sound, all that jazz, I would put this thing, you know, like I said, don't gig with it. It's not marketed as something that for a professional musician to gig with full time. But for all of that stuff, and for what it is useful for, and the durability factor that I think it's going to have, I would say we should have no problem putting this at an easy 4 out of 5. It is definitely losing points though, because no instructions to tell you how to get access to the battery compartment. That is pretty lame. Behringer needs to straighten up their act on that one. I didn't expect a pedal to be made out of plastic for like under $40. So, you know, I mean, I didn't expect it to be made out of metal. But plastic, yes. Okay. At least in the size that this is physically anyways. You can get $30 and $40 pedals out of Donner that are made out of all metal. So, you know, this is just a bigger platform kind of thing. So you actually have someplace to jam your foot, I guess. But the color is cool. I like the color. I like how the features work and all that jazz. They're pretty good. So overall, that's where we're at. Nothing's perfect either. So it's worth the money. So I definitely recommend it if you're not a gigging musician. You know, and it's a good learning tool. So, you know, when you become a better guitar player, upgrade to better quality, more expensive pedals. Because Boss pedals aren't cheap, guys. But they are built for the long haul, too. So, you know. But anyway, that's pretty much about where I stand with this thing. I'm going to continue to use it. I will be using it quite often. You may hear a chorus effect in a video or two within the music. You know, so that'll be this pedal. Anyways, till next time, thank you so much for watching and hanging out with me here. Stay tuned. I do have some other stuff that we're going to be taking a look at shortly as well. Some stuff will be guitar stuff, some stuff won't. And we'll just continue on, and when I can order some more of these Behringer pedals in and some Donners, we'll take a look at them and see what they're like. But I'm only ordering stuff that I know I'm going to actually be using, so that's a kind of a condition on this, you know. Not going to just order everything. But anyway, that's it. See ya.